Alright, so in this video, we're going to go ahead and update the XP whenever someone sends another message, because right now, we've only accounted for the case where when the member first sends a message, they're going to be added to the database. We need to now actually update their record in the database so they have their updated XP as well as their updated level. So I'm going to go ahead and just simply get the experience points. Okay, so we're going to use object destructuring to get the experience points as well as the current level from result subscript 0. Because remember, result is the array of records. Okay, we only ever have one record, which is right over here, text row. And you can see, let me just zoom in a little bit. You can see that we have the guild ID, member ID, and we have current level and experience points. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm using object destructuring, and I'm basically just pulling out those values and storing inside these variables over here. And what we're going to need to do is we're going to create a new file call a random.js, not really the best name, but this file is going to have a couple of functions. We're going to just create a function called generate exp, and we're just going to return math. So we're using the math API. We're going to round the number up, so math.ceil. So this is going to round the number up, okay, because math.random is going to return a floating point. So we're going to round it up. So I'm just going to do math.random times 150, round it up, and then return it. Okay, very, very simple random XP function. So it's going to generate a random number from, I think it's 1 to 150, I think. So now what's next here is we're going to go ahead and import this function. But before we do that, we have to export it. So let's just do that real quick. So let's import this up here. So generate exp and require utils random. Okay, awesome. Now from here, we're going to go ahead and just generate random XP. So we're going to do const XP equals. We're going to call generate XP or EXP, and we're just going to generate random experience. And then we're going to go ahead and take the XP that we just generated, and we're going to add that with the current XP that they have. So that's XP plus experience points. Okay, so that's very simple. You just take the value from the database, you add it with the value to add on to it. So the XP that they generated from the function, we're just adding that value to the current XP they have. And what we're gonna have to do from here is we need to actually check to see if they leveled up or not. This is gonna be a little bit tricky, but I'm gonna try my best to explain it. So I'm gonna go on a website called desmos.com, and I'll show you this XP function that I use, okay? And you can use whatever XP function you want, but this is very important to understand because you definitely don't want to just have a bunch of if conditions inside here and just check if, like, let's say for example, if their EXP is less than, 10,000, or if it's greater than 1,000 and less than 5,000, then they're level 1. You don't want to do something like that. That's hard coding it, and you want to have something that kind of scales. So we're going to go on desmos.com, and I want to show you guys how this actually works. So let me go ahead and just plug in my function real quick. So we're gonna go ahead and do y is equal to, so we're gonna have some base. So this is gonna be a constant number. This could be whatever constant you want. I'm gonna do 10 times x times e raised to the x power. So this is what the function looks like in a graph. Okay, but if we were to actually plug in numbers in here, so let's say for example, the way this is gonna work is inside our function check experience, which we're gonna implement in just a sec. Let me just do that right over here. Is we're gonna take in the experience their updated EXP, and we're going to take in their current level, and we want to basically check to see if they should level up or not. Okay, so let's actually just implement this function in code real quick. So that's 10x e to the x, and we're going to go and just put this inside our code real quick. So we're going to do const, so y, okay, because remember a function is just going to take in some input and output some value. Okay, it's going to give us some output. That's all a function is. Okay, mathematical functions are similar to how functions work in programming. You get some input, it gives back some output. So what we're going to do here is we're going to say base. So we're going to define base times level. Okay, so level over here is going to be the current level. So every single time we're going to take the user's current level, and we're going to go ahead and check to see if they should level up or not. And we do that by taking this function and checking to see if their experience is going to be greater than that output value. And I know it sounds so confusing, but don't worry, I'm going to explain everything after we do this. So I'm defining base up here, so that's just a constant. It could be whatever you want, but I'm going to leave it as 10. So 10 times whatever level is, times, we're going to do math.pow and we're going to use math.e to get us the e constant. So math.pal is going to raise a number to some exponent. So we're going to raise it to level. So in translation, let's just say, for example, if the base is 10, okay, or the base is 10, and if the level was 1, this is equivalent to 10 times 1 times e raised to the first power. Now, if we look at the graph, and if we were to, let's leave this function alone over here. Let's just simply do, what's going on here? Let's do y is equal to 10. Let's do 1 e to the first power. You're going to see the value of y is 27.182 and a whole bunch of other numbers. So basically, what we need to do is we need to just simply check to see, hey, look, is their updated XP greater than this number? Okay, because right now our base XP and our base level is 1. They're both 1 by default. So if we send another message again, and if we get enough XP, if we get like 26 XP, then we have a total of 27 EXP. We're going to check to see if that updated XP is greater than or equal to this number that is given from this mathematical function. And if it's greater than or equal to, then what we're going to do is we're going to say, hey, look, that person leveled up. So we're going to increment the level by 1. I know again it's very confusing, but trust me, just wait. I'm gonna give you some more examples. So let's say, for example, if our current level was 2. So we level up, let's say for example we leveled up to 1. So that means our current level is 2. Okay? So that means every single time we send a message, we're going to plug our level into this function. So that's 10 times 2 raised times e raised to the second power. So in order for them to get to level 3, they need to have 147 EXP. If they want to get to level 4, so their current level is 3, they need 602 EXP. Okay, so this is our EXP function, and you can see that this is exponential, which you can see that it just grows ridiculously fast. If we want to get to level 5, that's 10 times their current level, which is 4, e raised to the 4th power. They need 2,183 EXP. Of course, we're going to have to actually round the number down. So let's go ahead and do that right over here. So let's do math.floor. Okay, and then what we're gonna do, so this is going to give us the output, the same thing that you see in the graph, but it's going to get rid of the decimal floating, the floating point, because we're rounding number down. But from here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna check to see if experience, so if experience is greater than or equal to y, that means they leveled up. So we're using a ternary operator. So this just basically says, hey, look, if experience is greater than or equal to y, then we're gonna increment level by 1, which means they leveled up. Otherwise, we're going to just return the original level, which means that they did not level up. Okay, I know it's a lot to take in, but trust me. We're going to walk through the whole code once again, but I know I'm explaining it right now, but we're going to walk through everything again. So don't worry. So now let's go back into our message.js file, and let's just kind of like put everything all together now. So far, let's just do a quick recap. So far, all we've done was we just generated XP, and we just added that generate XP to the current XP from the database. Okay? The current value of the user's XP. We're going to go ahead and declare a variable called new level. And I'm going to go ahead and simply just do check experience. And we're going to pass in, well, we're going to actually have to import this function up here. So let's do that. Okay. So we're going to pass in updated EXP or updated XP. And we're going to pass in current level. So now what we're doing is we're calling check experience, and it's going to return the level of the user. If the user's XP is greater than the value that the generator, the mathematical function generated, or if the current XP is greater than the output that the mathematical function returned, then we're going to say, hey, look, they leveled up. But if it's not greater than, that means they did not level up. So we're going to return their original level. Okay, so let's go ahead and just simply log new level. And before we do anything else, let's actually just update the database, because right now we're not updating the database at all. We need to actually update the database. So let's go ahead and do that before we do anything else. So we're going to have to create yet another function. So we're going to go inside database, and let's create a function. Let's call it update guild member exp. We're going to take in the guild ID, the member ID, updated XP, and updated level. So 4 parameters this time, not just 2. And we're just going to do return state manager.connection.query. And we're going to do a simple update. So we're going to say update the name of the table, so guild member experience. Set. So set is basically going to expect us to pass in the column that we want to set. So we want to set experience points. Okay, and this is going to be equal to updated XP. Okay, we're also going to set the current level to updated level. And we're going to also have to make sure that we're setting the correct record. If we don't add the where clause, this condition over here, it's going to update every single record in the database, and you don't want that. You want to update it for the correct user in the correct guild. So we're going to have to say where guild ID is equal to guild ID and member ID is equal to member ID. So this itself is going to update the EXP as well as the level based on the guild and member ID. So let's go ahead and export this function, and let's import this outside, right? Let's import this right over here in message.js. And now, right over here, right underneath our console log, we're going to go ahead and just do const update equals awaits. We're going to call this function, pass in the guild ID, pass in member ID, pass in updated XP, and then pass in new level. Okay, so now I can finally show you guys how everything works. So let's go back here. Let's wait for our bot to log in. So now let's go ahead and let's just type some stuff. So you can see that it says guild update guild member XP is not a function. Huh? What's going on over here? Oh wait. Sorry about that. I accidentally imported from random. We have to import it from database. So much stuff in our code. Okay, there we go. So now this should work just fine. I accidentally imported it from the random file, but instead it's supposed to be imported from the database file. Okay, so this should work just fine now. Okay, so now if I type, you're going to see that I'm not sure how much XP that we got, but we can just check over here. So we got 84 XP, because you can see our updated XP is 85 before we only had 1. So we got 84 XP. So what's happening over here, okay, we said, hey, look, generate some random XP. So it gave us 84. Okay, 84 plus 1 is 85. What we're doing next is we're passing 85 updated XP as well as current level, which is 1. We're passing that inside the check experience function over here. Where's that over here? Where is it? Database. No, right here. We're passing this inside here, and we're saying, hey, look, experience is currently 85. We're going to check to see if experience is greater than y, or greater than or equal to y. Well, what exactly is y? Well, remember, y is going to be our output from our mathematical function. It's going to take in the level. It's going to multiply base. It's going to multiply by math.pow, which is just basically raising e to 10, or e to 1, sorry. And it's going to check to see if experience is greater than this value. And if experience is greater than or equal to y, then we're going to increment level by 1, which means that they leveled up. Okay, so that means right over here, our level is now 2. Okay, and you can see in the database that our level was updated. Let's go back to our graph before we finish this video. Let's go back to our graph. So now we're currently level 2. We have more than 27 XP, so we're level 2. In order to get to level 3, we need 147 XP. So let's just type something. Okay, now you can see that we're level 3 now. Let's see what happened. So we got, let's see, our XP is now 232. So you can see in the graph that our XP is greater than 147, which means that we are now level 3. Okay, we're now greater than the previous level that we have, which is level 3. And in order to get to level 4, well, we're just going to take our current level, which is 3, multiply by 10, multiply by e raised to the third power. And if that output is greater than 602, that means that we have leveled up. But if it's not greater than that value, that means we didn't level up. Okay? So hopefully all of this makes sense. I know it's a lot to take in, but just try your best to walk through everything and just think about what's going on. And then once you realize what's going on, it's going to be like crystal clear on why we're doing it this way. Because like I said, we don't want to just hard code a bunch of if-else statements. Like we could have easily just did something like if updated XP is, greater than 1 or greater than 1 less than 500, then their level is 2. We don't want to do something like that because we want something that scales. Okay, and in the long run, we can always check to see if, if they've reached level 100. And if they've reached level 100, we're just going to stop giving them, we're just going to stop updating their XP or their levels or both. So, yeah, hopefully this all made sense. And in the next video, we're going to go ahead and set up some kind of leaderboard so you can actually see what your XP is, where your current level is, as well as a certain leaderboard. So I'll see you guys in that video. Peace.